Hey ATM fan, it's been a minute. I'm going to cover today the missing person Kellie C. Lynn. Now this is not only a tale of two cities, it's a tale of two states, and even though she's been missing for a while, a little more than a year, there is very little known about her and about the case. So I'm going to share with you what I know and a little bit about where she went missing from. Kellie C. Lynn was a resident of Flint, Michigan, which is in Genesee County. The time of her disappearance on March 20th, 2025, which was her last date of contact. She was 33 years old. Sometimes you will see that she went missing on April 12th, but actually that was the date she was reported missing. And it is said that she actually went missing on March 20th, 2025. I'm going to tell you that her Chicago Police Department missing persons report number is JJ228872. You'll see that in the description box below this video. She is, according to the Chicago Police, 5 feet 4 inches tall, about 220 pounds, blue eyes, blonde hair. However, she has had a wide variety of hair color, and I believe she had kind of a bright red hair when she went missing. She also has a piercing on her face, below her lip, and it's not known if she had a stud or whatever in that piercing when she went missing or not. She also wears glasses, but it isn't known if she went missing with or without her glasses. The Chicago police are playing this for whatever reason, just maybe because that's how they do it in general, or there's something specific about this case. They're playing real close to the vest, so there's hardly anything known about this. Anyway, again, March 20th, 25 is where reports from social media claim this was the last known contact with Kellie in Chicago. There is Missing in Michigan Facebook page with her information on it and comments, some from people who actually appear to have known her, and they don't disagree with that date. However, various Facebook and missing persons groups cite April 12th, 2025 as the date she's been missing since. It's unclear whether that date reflects when she was officially reported missing or when posters learned she had last been seen. To me, it's pretty much cleared up that March 20th was the actual date, and April 12th was the date she was officially reported. The Chicago Police Department issues a public appeal for information about her whereabouts, noting her disappearance from the 3900 block of Lake Shore Drive. Okay, this is all we know about Kellie personally. At this time, there's no widely published official biography from law enforcement that talks about Kellie's personal life in Flint, Michigan. From some of the Facebook comments, apparently she must have had children, because there's a comment that said that her parents and family and her children and friends are missing her. So, but I don't know how many children. I don't know how, if she. It hasn't been verified by official channels that she has children. I'm just letting you know what I've read. She resides or lived in Flint, Michigan, but was in Chicago at the time of her disappearance. No mainstream news outlets appear to have covered her disappearance with verified details beyond missing person outreach posts. Most of which are on social platforms and not on any law enforcement pages or from a press conference or a news interview with law enforcement. And there is really no reliable public information published that tells us why Kellie was in Chicago, whether it was for travel or for work or for personal reason. Was she vacationing? Was she visiting someone? We don't know. And here's something else that's kind of weird. Several community posts on Facebook and Instagram from missing persons group states Kellie, quote, may be in the company of a 55-year-old male, end quote. These posts are not official law enforcement releases. They're from community missing persons groups, and there's no verified public record from the police that confirms, one, the identity of that male, two, the nature of the association, whether it was voluntary or involuntary, three, whether law enforcement has interviewed him, or four, whether he's wanted, cooperating, or cleared, or whether he may even exist. In other words, this 55-year-old male's identity and role in the case, should he exist, have not been publicly documented by official sources. Here is what is not known. There's no verified public information on where Kellie lived in Flint or the details of her life before the disappearance, why she was in Chicago. There's no public information on police statements about the 55-year-old male beyond community speculation or any subsequent law enforcement developments like updates in the case, sightings, persons of interest, CCTV footage, anything. Official police information beyond the basic missing persons report and description has not been published in mainstream news or through an official CPD press release available in searchable sources. If anyone has any information about her whereabouts, the public was asked to contact the Chicago Police Department, Area 3 SVU, phone 312-744-8266. Again, the report number is JJ228872. All this information will be in the description box below. So I'm going to summarize here what we know, or basically what we don't know. Kellie C. Lynn, age 33, is a missing woman originally from Flint, Michigan, who was last known to be in Chicago, Illinois. She was last seen or last known to be located in the 3900 block of North Lake Shore Drive in Chicago, which, as my understanding, is an apartment building that faces the lake, Lake Michigan. Kellie has been reported missing under Chicago Police Department report number, again, JJ228872, and authorities have requested public assistance in locating her. Her physical description is reported at approximately 5'4" tall, 220 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. But family members, social sources say that she may have had bright red dyed hair when she went missing. Available missing persons bulletins and outreach postings indicate Kellie was last known to be in Chicago around March 20th, 2025, though some public awareness posts list April 12th, 2025 as the date she'd been missing, which may reflect the date she was officially reported missing or the date her case began circulating publicly. Multiple community alerts state that she may be in the company of a 55-year-old male, though no public law enforcement source has released the identity of this individual or clarified his role. Once more, anyone with information is urged to contact the Chicago Police Department Area 3 Special Victims Unit at 312-744-8266. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the area where she went missing. 3900 North Lakeshore Drive is a high-rise condominium building located in the Lakeview East neighborhood on Chicago's north side. Lakeshore Drive is a major multi-lane urban boulevard that runs along the edge of Lake Michigan, connecting many Chicago neighborhoods from south to north. The building directly faces Lake Michigan to the east. Lakeshore Drive runs immediately west of the Lakeshore Line Trail, with pedestrian access to beaches and paths between the drive and the water. Lincoln Park and Parkland, with beaches and public gathering areas, extend north from around the 3900 block area along the lakefront. And because Lakeshore Drive parallels Lake Michigan here, water access, including lakeshore beaches and the lakefront trail, is only a short walk or cyclist route east of the building. Lakeshore Drive is a major expressway or boulevard that runs along the lake shore of Lake Michigan from Chicago's south to north side. This stretch of LSD near 3900 North is typically very trafficked, with vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians, especially during daylight and weekends. The shoreline just east of Lakeshore Drive is comprised of beaches, park green space, and the multi-use lakefront trail used by pedestrians and cyclists. Nearby parks and beaches include Lincoln Park to the north, which contains beaches, recreational fields, gardens, and extensive trail paths that run beside the lake, and Burnham Park to the south, a long stretch of waterfront parkland with harbor areas and beaches, which is a few minutes away by car or bike. These parklands are open public spaces with many points of access to the lakefront trail, and in summer months can be busy with recreation. Chicago has fixed cameras in some public and transit areas, but visual surveillance coverage in parks and along many shorefront areas is not comprehensive, especially outside commercial intersections or transit stops. Lakeshore Drive itself has a traffic surveillance system and speed monitoring at select intersections, although overall every block does not have fixed camera documenting pedestrians along sidewalks. This means that in open areas such as beaches and park paths east of the roadway, camera coverage is usually limited to what residents or private buildings or corporations have installed, and there's been no indication by law enforcement that they have CCTV footage of what happened to her. But then there's no indication that they don't have either. Chicago's overall crime rate is higher than the national average, with both property and violent crimes reported across many neighborhoods. North side community areas like Lakeview are not among the highest crime zones compared with other parts of the city, but crime still, of course, can occur. So there's a fairly safe area in Chicago. Also, here are some public spaces with less visible area and movement paths where she could have been taken off the street in these areas because they're less directly observed by large crowds or routine street traffic or cameras. The parks between the road and the lake. Between the drive and the lakeshore, there are grassy parkland areas, beach stretches, and parts of lakefront trail that are quieter, especially in the early morning and evening. And we don't know what time she went missing. That hasn't been released either. There are underpasses and side paths. Lakeshore Drive has pedestrian underpasses and side paths connecting the east sidewalk to the park/trail, and these are sometimes less monitored and can be quieter. Adjacent side streets west of LSD are typical residential streets, which have less through traffic at night, fewer cameras than major intersections, and quieter stretches, and building access points. The high-rise building at 300 North LSD has interior spaces like parking garages, hallways, rooftop decks, not visible from the street. So here, last but not least, is a summary of what to know geographically. Lakeshore Drive is a major active roadway adjacent to the disappearance location. Lake Michigan Shoreline and Lakefront Trail are public waterfront areas immediately east of the drive with many access points. The Lincoln Park and Burnham Park parklands are nearby open spaces with varied visibility. As far as cameras and surveillance, traffic and some municipal cameras exist. Parks have limited fixed cameras. And as far as crime is concerned, Chicago has higher crime rates overall, but this neighborhood specifics say that this is a lower crime area in the city of Chicago. So I want to say what I always say here at the end. If you know something, say something.